This majestic-looking castle was built during the 100-year war against the French of gorgeous local stone. Its main purpose, not only a defence point and family home, but also to act as the ultimate display in wealth and power for anyone who saw it. It could be an early example of keeping up with the Joneses. But where am I? We'll find out in just a moment. Today, our house-hunting pair are looking for a new rural family home, and they've got some pretty big expectations.
So if you were thinking football pitches, cricket pitches, we've got all of this.
Yeah. They've also got some rather high hopes for their new pad.
I think the head heights are an issue again, isn't it? Absolutely.
Today I'm in East Sussex, and this is Bodiam Castle. It was built in 1385 by Sir Edward Dallingridge, a tremendously successful knight for Richard II, and he wanted to show everyone in this county just how powerful he'd become. Now, in those days, most people were illiterate and imagery was key. Taking pride of place is his coat of arms and family crest, a visual signature for everyone to see and just part of the Dallingridge family brand. And what a wonderful place for us to start our adventure in this beautiful part of the county. The diverse county of East Sussex sits in the southeast corner of England, bordered by West Sussex, Surrey and Kent. Its beautiful coastline stretches along the English Channel, where sandy beaches flanked by grassy banks offer endless views across the open sea. One of East Sussex's undeniable attractions is the South Downs, England's newest national park. The county shares this area of outstanding natural beauty with neighbouring West Sussex and Hampshire, and it covers around 260 square miles across the three counties. Its beautiful landscape is ideal for exploring the lush countryside, even better in the company of four-legged friends. The expansive park also takes in Beachy Head in the south, whose dramatic jagged cliffs are the highest chalk sea cliffs in Britain. Sitting atop is the statuesque Belle-Toute Lighthouse. Originally built in 1832, it was damaged in the Second World War and restored in the 1950s. Villages such as Alfriston in the south of the county offer a glimpse into the past with an eclectic array of architectural styles. The Star Inn, built in the mid-14th century, was once a base for a local smuggling gang before their leader was shipped off to Australia in 1830. There's no doubt that East Sussex is an attractive destination for home buyers seeking to escape city life. At £331,000, the price of an average detached property here in East Sussex is nearly £65,000 above the national average figure. Its hotspots were they're spread right across the county, with premiums being paid for the proximity to the coast in the south and those strong commuter links to London in the north. So let's meet today's buyers and find out where they want to call home and how much they're willing to pay for it. Finance engineer Wayne and his teacher wife Izzy live with their two young sons in a 1930s semi in Purley, Surrey, on the outskirts of the capital. 18 years ago, it was this active couple's love of sport that brought them together.
Oh, we met playing hockey. We both joined the same hockey club. You've been there for quite a few years. And I'd moved into the area and joined and saw this gorgeous bloke playing hockey and thought, that'll do, he'll do.
9 years later, they were married, and soon after they had Jake, age 8, and Oliver, 6. The two energetic boys share their parents' passions.
I think our sporting activities has definitely been passed on to our boys, who just love anything to do with running around, whether it's hockey, cricket, football, rugby. They all play absolutely everything. Unfortunately, it's the kit that takes up the majority of the space in our house.
And it's not just the four of them upping sticks and heading for pastures new.
The fifth member of the family is a little black lab called Maisie. She is about 3.5 years old, keeps herself to herself at home, but she loves getting out. Hopefully the sixth member will be along quite soon after the move.
That was the deal we had. New house, new dog.
So, after 14 years in one home, this active family have decided to cross borders and head to East Sussex. Izzy is excited about what a move south will mean.
For me, I love the countryside because just the space, the peace and quiet, the ability to just walk with the dog and just enjoy that time to reflect, to have your own headspace. You can't just walk out around here and have that peace and quiet that I crave for. We've got a great life here in Purley. All we want is the countryside to go with it. If I could lift my neighbours up and take them with us, then that's what I would do. The new house is going to be an important move because we feel that it's going to be our final move. And we want to make sure that it's the right house for us to spend the next 20, 30 years of our life, bring the boys up there. So we just want it to be perfect.
And with their house sold, there's no time to look back.
I think we are very excited about the move and about what the future holds for us. I think it's going to be quite exciting to find out what's going to happen.
This is the right time for us to do this. And we know that because we're both so positive about the whole move that we know the benefits of it are going to be tremendous.
Wayne and Izzy are looking forward to a quieter life in East Sussex, close to the coast and not too far from the city. And they're open to considering anywhere in the diverse county, but with Izzy's job in South Croydon, she wants to be no more than an hour's commute from work. But before we start on the journey to their new life, I've come to meet them in East Sussex to find out a little more about their plans.
So Wayne and Izzy, it's great to meet you. Now, are you not moving that far? I mean, moving is always a huge undertaking, but physically, we're doing, what, 50 miles from Surrey to here in East Sussex. So why East Sussex?
Wayne's a very country person and he's persuaded me over the years that that's what I want.
I like that. There's an art to that, Wayne.
It's a very defined skill.
Wayne, are we talking rural, proper rural, or are we talking, I like the idea of having a few trees at the end of the road?
A bit of in between, if I'm brutally honest, because we still quite like our sort of creature comforts which come with living close to towns.
So let's talk about this all-important family home for the four of you, plus dog, mustn't forget the dog. You know, what's important with this next move?
I think the first thing is we're after a nice big garden. So something that the boys can just go and disappear in, have plenty of playtime out there.
The current garden is on a slant, so when the boys play any type of sport, the ball always rolls down to the bottom of the garden. They get very cross with it. And we've always said we'd like a flat garden because we've lived in this house for 14 years and, you know, we want to kind of be able to move on a little bit.
What about the property itself?
I think we're after something with maybe 4 bedrooms as a minimum. So the boys they share a bedroom at the moment, so we'd quite like having a spare room. I think they're both looking forward to their own little personal space.
Ah.
I think we're after a nice big kitchen.
Yeah.
I think that's quite important to us. We'd like to spend a lot more time in there, just somewhere that's a bit of a homely place within the house.
What style would you like?
Ideally, we'd like a period farmhouse, but having said that, we are quite open to suggestions.
If there was going to be a compromise, which way would it go, house or garden?
For me, I would compromise on the house.
I totally agree, actually. I think it is. The house isn't as important as the garden.
Are you two always in agreement, or are there going to be differing opinions as we drive around the county?
Ideally, our priority is the children. And I think that when we see what's right for the children, we kind of compromise ourselves. I know that you don't like kind of low ceilings and too much period because I think it's, well, you just keep banging your head, whereas I'm like, oh, this is lovely.
Right.
So that's where we'll differ.
You don't mind a bit of a project if it comes up?
I don't think we're scared of a bit of DIY, as long as it's manageable, none of the big stuff.
You do have a healthy budget, don't you?
We do. We've done some sums. We've got around about £750,000 as our maximum budget, but we consider anything below that, obviously.
Looking forward to this, because we've got some splendid properties to show you. We have picked the most beautiful day as well to start this tour, haven't we? Come on, let's go.
Wayne and Izzy have a very healthy budget, but in this county it won't go too far. Their number one priority is giving their young sons a fabulous outdoor space, not on a slope, to run around and enjoy their many hobbies. Inside, they'd like 4 bedrooms and a large kitchen that lends itself to being the heart of the home. They'd love a period property, but one where 6'3" Wayne can stand upright, and they're happy to do some work on a house to make it their own. And we've chosen 3 very different properties to really get them thinking. As they visit each one, they'll have no idea of its price tag. They'll discover that once they've completed the tour. The final stop will be the mystery house, which will take them right out of their comfort zone, but offer them something unique in return. We're beginning our house hunt to the west of the county, in the hamlet of Fletching Common, just 5 miles from the town of Uckfield and just over half a mile from the village of Newick. Newark has an attractive village green at its heart, overlooked by houses boasting handsome architecture from various periods and 3 welcoming pubs. There's also a primary school and a good selection of shops, meaning locals have all the essentials at their fingertips. A 2-minute drive takes us to Fletching Common and our first house, an enchanting period property dating back to the 16th century. It was refronted in Victorian times, giving it an unusual facade of slate, brick and tiles.
It is very pretty, very pretty.
Beautiful. I normally try to keep the garden a secret and then reveal it later. But with this property, you can see it in all its glory.
It's straight there, isn't it? As soon as you walk in.
How is that for flat? You could practically pay bowls on that, couldn't you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about the house itself. Originally, it was 2 cottages. But over the years, it has been extended. So how keen are we to start?
Very.
Yes?
Want to get in?
Yes, excited to get in, have a look.
Come on.
Top of Wayne and Izzy's wish list is a large level garden for their boys to enjoy. And this charming double-fronted home has already delivered on that. Moving inside, they're hoping for the space for Jake and Oliver to grow up in.
Right. So I brought you in the front door, but of course, no one in the country ever uses their front door. But it's such a pretty entrance, and it leads into a real large living/dining area.
I'm not quite sure what to make of it, really. Whether
No,
it's
I'm
a
not.
hallway or whether it's an entrance room or a living space.
It would make a fantastic playroom.
It would, actually.
yeah.
The kids would love that, yes.
The ceilings, I think, might be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see as we go around.
They're not too bad, though. I expect them to be a touch lower.
This is
but,
okay.
But this is okay.
Yeah, just remember this ceiling as we go around, Wayne.
An old feature door leads through to the sitting room.
That's lovely, isn't
It's
it?
Nice
impressive.
space.
You've got the patio doors going out onto the garden. You've got like a little snug area, and just to the right, that used to be an aviary, and they use that as a morning room.
Instantly, I've got the whole height thing going on.
Yeah.
And we're looking for the cottage house. So, you know, that's almost to be expected.
A little more ducking and diving for Wayne, and another door from the sitting room takes us to the kitchen at the back of the house.
Wayne, I'd like you to stand right there
Will
because
do.
you can stand up straight. As kitchens go in cottages, I think this is a generous size.
And it seems like we've modernised as we've walked through the rooms.
Next door, you've got a utility room with access to another private garden. So just to sum up the downstairs then, come on, give me an overall reaction, an overall feeling.
I'm feeling it's a little bit too cramped for a family of 4, for a growing family of 4, because the children, if they're going to be anything like Wayne's height, will be that size.
Yeah.
So that's my main concern.
Because this cottage began life as 2, it does feel more spacious than most, but the 500-year-old low ceilings do seem to be a sticking point. Upstairs offers a little more headroom, and we're going straight to the master bedroom at the front.
Feels a little bit small.
But it's quite bright, actually. It's quite
It
a
is
bright
bright,
room.
yes. Again, 2 windows, so that's good.
Yes, looking out over the common. Got a very small bijou ensuite, but it is an ensuite. You've got 4 bedrooms on this floor with a large family bathroom, and because of the quirkiness of the cottage, there's actually an additional space above us, which would make a fantastic playroom stroke storage area.
Oh, fabulous.
But you have the potential of actually having 5 bedrooms in this property.
It's a bonus.
Great, OK. Well, let's head back downstairs, that all-important garden.
If the inside feels a little on the snug side for Wayne and Izzy, the outside definitely won't. There's almost an acre of land, and it's as flat as a pancake.
So, we've looked around the house, but just take a moment, look at it from this aspect.
That is stunning.
It is a pretty looking house,
Yeah.
isn't it? It is pretty.
And it sort of nestles in its land. They flattened it out. So if you were thinking football pitches, cricket pitches for these lovely boys of yours, you've got all of this.
Yeah.
You've got an orchard there, some outhouses, you've got a conservatory.
It's superb. It's absolutely lovely.
But it probably comes down to the price, doesn't it? How much? Can you take a guess at what it's on the market for?
I'm probably going with around £725,000.
I'm going to go a bit lower. I'm going to go for £700,000.
That's interesting. The asking price is £750,000.
Oh.
OK.
So it is at the top of your
Yeah.
budget, but
We've got the land to play with.
Absolutely, yeah.
you told me that the land was more important than the house. Am I going to better this?
The garden's absolutely spot on.
Am I going to better this? In all seriousness, go and have another look around, explore upstairs, absolutely everything. And I'll tell you what, I'll meet you by the back door when you're ready.
Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nikki.
I so wish Wayne was about 5'6", because then I think that could be the perfect house for them. If it wasn't for that, I think this house with this magnificent garden is the perfect rural retreat.
Bang on budget, this character cottage has the room Wayne and Izzy want for their growing boys to play and explore. Although if they're going to match their dad in the height stakes, the low ceilings could be a problem. But with an extra bedroom come playroom in the eaves and a fabulous garden, it does have an awful lot going for it. And it's just a 55-minute drive to Izzy's work, under the hour she's willing to travel.
That's a nice sized bathroom, isn't it? I think the head heights are an issue again, isn't it? Absolutely.
Well, when we turned up, I was really pleasantly surprised because of the vista, absolutely gorgeous, and looking at the facade of the house, stunning. I'm finding they're a little bit too cramped. We will ultimately have 3 large men over 6 foot in the house, and I'm thinking, are they going to fit all in here with the dogs?
I think the footprint of the house is absolutely spot on. I think the size of the house, size of the garden, just comes back down to the small cottagey feel as we've moved in. The lower ceilings are, an obvious issue for me. I think that is definitely a sticking point.
Have you seen enough, you two?
We've seen plenty.
Yeah, there aren't any bruises. We're intact.
No, the head's okay.
Yeah, didn't take out any of those beams on the way.
Not quite.
Well, hopefully it has got you thinking, but this is only our first property. Got a lot more to show you. Go on.
Wayne, Izzy and the boys are dedicated dog lovers, and their pooch Macy is an important part of their family. And when they move, they hope to welcome a new 4-legged member to the fold, giving Macy a new friend. So we've sent them to Rye near the East Sussex coast to meet Cheryl Payne, who's part of a group of local dog owners who train their Newfoundland dogs to carry out water rescues and show off their skills at events.
And who have we got here?
This is Tilly Tot. She's 10.5 years of age, so fairly old for a Newfoundland, but she's looking all right on it.
So, what's so special about Newfoundlands?
So they have webbed feet, which makes them great for swimming, obviously very strong. They have 2 coats, so that actually means that the water doesn't get all the way to their skin. And the top coat almost goes out like a float. They also swim with all 4 paws, rather than a normal dog that's doing doggy paddle. They'll actually do a full breaststroke.
And is Tilly capable of pulling just a child, or can she pull full-grown men?
Tilly will quite happily tow this boat full of 6, 7 men in it.
Goodness me.
Very easily.
So how do you train the dogs?
Well, why don't we go over there and I'll show you?
That sounds great.
Great, thank you.
Let's go. Come on, Jules.
These gentle giants, originally working dogs from Canada and affectionately known as Newfies, can reach over 11 stone in weight. They start their training at around 12 weeks, and by the time they're 1, they'll have acquired a few basic skills like holding a rope. And by 2, they're ready for more heavy work, such as towing a boat.
So what are the dogs actually doing now?
We've got 6 dogs, and they're going to go through a series of obedience training with sits and downs and crossing over each other.
So how does this link in with your water rescue work?
So for us, it's really important they're in control on the land. You can imagine they've got great big paws and claws. So if we're not careful and train them properly out here, you can end up with some big scratches. And so we just need to make sure that they can do everything right here before we add in the water element.
In the 18th and 19th century, these remarkable dogs had a reputation as heroic water rescuers, meaning ships would rarely set sail without a Newfie on board in case disaster struck. And today they're used in Italy and France for water rescue in hard-to-reach areas. Today, Cheryl's dog Twizzle is going to demonstrate one of the most advanced rescue techniques. Cheryl's in the water calling for help. Twizzle's ready for action and jumps in to begin the rescue. Cheryl grabs onto Twizzle as Izzy and Wayne clap to encourage him to swim to shore.
Yay, good boy. Yay. So guys, you've had the full Newfoundland experience. What do you think? Will you have one?
Oh, I've been really impressed with the way he's worked, but I think they're just a touch too big for us, I think.
Well, it's been great meeting you, and we wish you every success with your house hunting. Hope you get what you want.
Really enjoyable, thank you.
For our next property, we're heading to the centre of East Sussex, to the village of Mayfield, 8 miles south of Tunbridge Wells. Beautiful Tudor buildings standing proud in the village were mainly funded by the profits from the 16th and 17th century Sussex iron industry. The village offers a range of shops and 3 pubs, where locals can discuss the village's smuggling history over a pint. Just half a mile down a country lane takes us to our second property. This extended and refurbished 5-bedroom house is sure to give Wayne and Izzy a few surprises, as well as offering them some familiar features.
And here it is.
That's nice, actually.
That is
quite
nice. It is
Yes,
nice, isn't it?
It is.
It's semi-detached, this is.
It is semi-detached. Well observed. Dates about 1930s.
Ah, so...
Same age as ours at the moment.
What same as we got?
Yep. So we're liking what we see. We're
Yes.
surprised.
Yes, we are. I think surprised that you're showing us a semi, but surprised also that it's a nice house.
It is. It's a nice style that we like.
Good.
This house, in its beautiful countryside location, is around 40 minutes drive from the coast and an hour and 20 from London, meaning prices are at a premium. So to get the most space for their money, Wayne and Izzy do need to consider a semi. And I don't think this one, in its private setting, will disappoint.
So through the hallway, you've got a utility room, and then you've got this splendid room.
This is great.
This is a lovely kitchen.
This is lovely.
Oh, look at your
Really
face.
like it, yeah. Really like it.
Open plan, huge dining area. This couldn't be more different from the cottage.
No,
we
not
saw
at all.
earlier.
This kind of, I think, suits our needs
This
more.
probably does suit our lifestyle a lot more than what a quaint little cottage would do. I mean, this is probably what we're looking for.
I feel like I'm coming home because it's very similar
Yeah.
to the house we currently have in terms of style and design.
So this is home from home so far.
It is, on a bigger scale.
Across the hallway to the other side of the house is a large sitting room with the same footprint as the kitchen.
Yeah, it's a nice size,
No,
actually.
I like this
It's a
as
nice size.
well. Good ceilings, Wayne.
Very good size.
How do you both feel about open plan?
It's completely different to what we've got at home, so this is very new to us, and we can see why it's been done. So we can see why it's been opened up and the space
Yeah.
it gives you.
If this wasn't enough, you also have a fabulous conservatory.
That looks lovely.
Just put in recently, which you can use all year round.
I'm looking for a separate reception area for the boys to kind of play and get on with and be by themselves. And I can't quite see it other than separating off the 2 rooms to back into 2, basically.
But remember, that could be a playroom
Yeah.
downstairs if you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see what else this house has got to offer.
Yeah.
Upstairs is a large double bedroom with an ensuite, a further 2 doubles, one with its own dressing room, a family bathroom, and at the front of the house overlooking the lawn is the master bedroom where we're heading.
It's a good sized room, isn't it?
It's a nice size,
yeah,
actually.
Nice, light and airy. Yeah, I like it.
We have 4 bedrooms. One of those bedrooms is actually an ensuite.
Oh,
owners
this
have-
is the master.
This is the master. They've chosen to be at the front of the house, but one of the children actually has the ensuite.
Ah, that might not happen with us.
Wayne and Izzy might have different ideas from the current owners, but I think they'll agree that what I'm about to show them is an unexpected bonus, a hidden gem accessed through one of the back bedrooms.
So we do have 4 bedrooms downstairs, but up here we have this space.
Wow.
And no moaning about the beam. I'm allowed 1 beam in this house, and
So
that
that's
is
the
going to
one.
be it.
This is fabulous, isn't
This
it?
is a lovely room.
So 5 bedrooms, should you want 5 bedrooms, or a fabulous playroom.
That's what I'm thinking.
So you know that slight quandary with the downstairs space? Have we
It's gone. It's
we've
gone.
relieved that
Yes,
problem?
completely.
So it makes up for it for what you have
Yeah.
upstairs.
Absolutely.
Outside space is the next thing, and also, can you afford it?
We'll see.
Let's see.
I think I've won Wayne and Izzy back with this fabulous attic space. This move is all about their boys, and the sports-mad brothers would be sure to be happy outside too. The land wraps around the house, and in the back garden, a large decked area overlooks a landscape lawn and a play area. In addition to a garage, there's a garden shed and a fully furbished garden office.
In actual fact, it is quite a large plot. That gate, the land behind it, is owned by a family a couple of doors away. At the moment, all the children play out the back.
Oh, really?
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah.
That's definitely
That's
worth
it,
knowing,
yes,
actually,
it is.
because when we walked out, saw the garden, we thought, hang on, probably a little bit small for what we wanted. But with that, it definitely changed the situation.
It does. There's plenty of possibilities, isn't
There is.
with this? More than we thought.
How much do you think this is worth?
I'm going to go at £700,000.
Okay.
I'm going to go for something a bit higher, actually. I'm going for around about £735,000.
It's on the market for £745,000. Tell me, what's going through your minds? There's silence there.
I think it's because it's 745 for a semi. I think that's the bit that's got me.
You wanted to be on the edge of a village.
Yes.
You have that.
Yeah.
You have the space. You could move in tomorrow. The compromise is you could be living semi-detached, but you get everything that you want in a house. So why don't you take another look? Start off with the study, the office, wonderful little building, and I'll meet you out the front. See you in a minute.
Take a look. Thank you.
Just £5,000 under budget, our second property is a 1930s semi, offering Wayne and Izzy almost everything they're looking for. With 4 bedrooms and an attic room, there's space for their sons to have a bedroom each and a fabulous playroom. Izzy's drive to work would be 1 hour and 5 minutes, so just over the hour's commute she's looking for. But the 3/4 of an acre of land for the boys is sure to make up for an extra 5 minutes in the car.
Oh, this is a nice addition.
Yeah, it's good. Be good for work.
We were wondering where we were going to put the desk, weren't we?
Yeah.
So this is fitting perfectly.
That would suit.
The property is not what we'd originally envisaged in terms of a semi-detached, but it ticked all the boxes in terms of rooms, decor, style, space, except for the land outside.
I think my only reservation is about the garden being split front and rear. There's still a sizable amount of garden to be used. I think we really wanted something slightly a little bit bigger.
Right, you two, have you seen enough? Have you explored everywhere?
We've looked in every room, Nicki.
Yeah?
Had a good look around.
Yeah.
It's been done out very well.
It is. It's a beautiful property.
It is.
You've got the night off. You can really think about it because I'm going to show you another house tomorrow, which is very different.
Excellent.
It's the second day of our house hunt in East Sussex, and with pockets full of £750,000, Wayne and Izzy from Purley, Surrey, are looking for a wonderful home with an extensive garden for them and their sporty young sons. We'll be throwing them a curved ball with our mystery house.
That's really not what I expected to see when I walked in the house. This has taken me really by surprise.
And I'll be dining out on some top-notch local fare.
Delicious.
Yesterday, very early on, we learned that Wayne and Izzy were happy to sacrifice the house for the actual size of the garden to help satisfy the needs of those very active, sporty little boys that they have. But after showing them a couple of properties, I think their priorities are 50-50, big house and big garden. So with our mystery property today, it's all about the house. Now, it might not be semi-detached this time, but on first impressions, it may be a little confusing.
For our final property, we're hopping over the border into West Sussex and heading towards the commuter town of Haywards Heath, just 36 miles south of London and 12 miles north of Brighton. The area offers residents all the advantages of a busy town with beautiful countryside at arm's reach. The local station has short journey times to the city and the coast, making the town easy to commute from and quick to come home to. Set on the outskirts of town with a wonderful aspect overlooking open countryside, we find our third and final property. And it's going to require Wayne and Izzy to be a little flexible with their thinking.
Now it's time for something completely different.
Very different.
Our mystery house doesn't look like a conventional home, does it?
No.
It's a bungalow. We've never considered a bungalow before, never looked at them, but let's go with an open mind and see what happens.
I like that. And I'm going to slightly reframe it. I'm going to call it a single-storey home.
It's a bungalow, Nicki.
OK, we're going to step through the bungalow. Come on.
This thoroughly modern home has a very deceiving exterior which gives nothing away. But step inside and you can't fail to be impressed by the state-of-the-art design. It could even leave you lost for words.
Now, let's take you straight through to the living area.
That's really not what I expected to see when I walked in the house. This has taken me really by surprise.
Is he? No?
No.
Come on, be honest with me.
It's lovely, but it's really not me at all. And I'm a bit shocked.
Sometimes when you see something that you're not used to, it jars because it's just so out of your comfort zone. Try and put that to one side and see it just through fresh eyes.
OK, give it a go.
This is the heart of the house, but I want to show you the kitchen.
I think Wayne and Izzy are a little in shock as this house is so different from what they were expecting. But I'm confident that the more they see, the more they'll like. A stylish dining room leads from the sitting room to the kitchen.
It's very modern. I like it, actually.
I'm still not sure what to think. Again, not what I expected. And I think that's just the theme that I'm going to feel as we go through the rest of the property.
Is he?
As a kitchen, a standalone kitchen, I really like it. But if the rest of the house follows this theme, however, it's probably not for me.
I'm going to persevere because I do think this house has got lots going for it.
This brick and glass house is laid out in an S shape. The sitting room and kitchen are at the core of the home, and along the bottom of the S is a wing with the sleeping quarters. There are 3 double bedrooms, 2 are en suite, and there's also a family bathroom.
This is the master, which has its own dressing room just behind you, and doors to that countryside.
That view is stunning.
That's a fantastic view. The thing I possibly don't like, I'm not sure if I can sleep downstairs on the ground floor. It's something that I probably need to get over.
Really? Why?
I think it's a case of, you know, I want to feel secure. It's very traditional, you go upstairs to bed.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a very big change if we ever thought about bungalow.
I think we're more conventional than we thought,
Oh,
to be honest.
that's not a bad thing, though. That's not a bad thing. I like you to be stretched, and I do think the mystery is doing that with you. Because just take a look at this. And here is
Oh, my
Oh
goodness.
my word.
your bathroom stroke wet room.
I'm shocked.
I am actually,
Where's this come from?
Isn't it beautiful?
It is fantastic.
Contemporary, beautifully appointed. So even you've got to admit you're impressed with this
Oh,
bathroom.
there we are.
No,
This is
I am
very
impressed.
good.
And that bath is fantastic.
Oh, I've got a compliment. Yes, right, we're going to leave on a high. Let's keep going.
Moving back through to the top of the S shape of this extraordinary house next to the sitting room is another wing.
Final thing to show you. Wonderful study area. You've got a utility room on that side, and then, now look at this. Is this a surprise?
You know what? I can't even believe where this is. I don't quite know where we are in the house. It's great. Good space.
This is so much bigger than what it looks from outside. Really is.
Yeah.
You could easily convert this side of the property. The boys are still very, very young, but in 5 or 6 years' time, they're going to want their own space. This could be their part of the property, and that's yours.
I can see how that would work, actually.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So this mystery has a little bit more going for it than we first gave it credit, hasn't it?
It's a lot bigger, which therefore
Yes.
for us gives us those options.
Yeah. So let's go outside, just talk a little bit about the land, and also I am going to ask you to put a figure on this property for the final time. Come on.
Every room in this open-plan house has views to the gardens, and like the interior, it also has some surprises in store for Wayne and Izzy.
Just look at that property. It probably makes more sense now because the
Yeah.
front gave so little away, but now you can actually see how large it is. I can't offer you a football pitch, but what I can offer you is lovely woodland that's yours. So you've got just over half an acre here. But more importantly, behind us, we have open fields and countryside.
The view is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
So let's see if we can guess the price of this beautiful contemporary mystery house.
I think it's the finish has been fantastic. I think with the extra half acre on the side, going for around about the 750,000.
I don't think as much. I find the living space is quite cramped. However, that extra bit on the side has thrown me. So I'm really not sure, but I'm going to go for £725,000.
That's really interesting because, Wayne, you're on the money. Asking price of £750,000.
Interesting.
Take another look because it is a unique property. You're not going to see one like this again, are you? No. Yeah. Go on, off you go. Enjoy it.
Our mystery house has asked Wayne and Izzy to cross borders and think outside the box. And what it lacks in the country cottage stakes, it certainly makes up for in cutting-edge design. Bang on budget, it doesn't leave any money in the bank, but they wouldn't have to do anything to it. This home would allow Izzy to enjoy country life with just an hour's drive to work.
My initial impressions were just literally what is behind the front door, because you can't tell.
So coming into the property was a complete contrast to outside. The decor, the quality of the actual decoration inside was actually really high.
The style of the property for me wasn't really my taste. It was very trendy, very modern, and I'm much more of a conventional type of person, and it wasn't our style at all.
The house, very deceptive, very big. It was quite strange that the garden didn't live up to what the house was providing. Although the half an acre on the side was great space, but the actual playing area, you could say, the grassed area was actually quite small.
Right, any final thoughts on my mystery house?
The house has got some great points, but I just don't think it's quite us.
No? OK, well, that's it. You've seen everything. Let's go and have a chat.
With a coastal border, East Sussex prides itself on some wonderful seaside towns and villages. The medieval town of Rye may be inland, but historically it was surrounded by sea and played an important role defending England's south coast, with warships sitting in its waters. Today it harbours fishing boats, and one of its most celebrated catches is the world-class Rye scallop. I've come to meet Russell Drew, a local fisherman, to learn more about this nutritious seafood.
Russell, good to meet you.
Hi, Nicki. Welcome to Rye.
Thank you very much. Now, we're standing here and I can smell the sea, but I can't see it. Where is it?
We're in the actual Rye Harbour, and the sea is about 2 miles that way.
Why has Rye now got this wonderful reputation for scallops?
They're about the freshest scallops you're ever going to see. It's deep water, and like where they're living, they seem to like it quite well.
The scallop is at its best at around 3 years old when it's fully matured, and fishermen can tell its age by looking at the shell. Like a tree, there's a ring for each year, 3 rings, and it's time to harvest. The scallops swim freely and cluster on the seabed where they're caught.
And they're actually harvested by this boat behind us?
Yeah, there's several boats fishing this time of year.
And how long then will they go out in total?
They'll do a 14-hour day generally.
So are they easy to open?
Yeah, quite easy, when you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's just because they're so lively, you have to force the shell open. You just cut hard down the flat shell.
Yeah.
And try not to leave too much meat on the shell.
Look at that.
Pull the frill off that side there.
Yeah.
Cut down hard behind that, not leaving anything on the shell.
Yeah.
And it should just pop out like that.
Oh, look at that, that is a beauty. So if I'm going to go and taste a scallop, what shall I ask for? Any particular dish?
I just like it plain as anything.
Russell, my tummy is rumbling just at the thought. Yes, I'm going to be looking at them in a different way. I don't think I want to be doing too much shucking, but I'll certainly be eating them. Thank you very much.
No problem.
In Rye, these juicy molluscs are celebrated during Scallop Week in February every year. Local pubs and restaurants feature them on their menus for residents and visitors to enjoy in a variety of dishes. Chef Jonathan Breeds loves making the most of local fare and is rustling up some scallop dishes with a difference for me to sample today. The scallops are cleaned and then oiled with a little salt is heated on the stove. Once the pan is hot, the scallops are fried for 30 seconds on each side before being laid on baby spinach leaves. Jonathan's cooking 3 dishes for me to try: plain, a version with sautéed chorizo and roast sweet potato, and lastly, scallops coupled with cracked black pepper and tangy orange segments.
There we go. And that's all 3.
Now this is what I've been waiting for.
I think, Jonathan, I'm in for a treat, aren't I?
Well, I hope so.
Oh, my goodness. Divine. What makes them so delicious?
I think it's partly the texture. It's quite a meaty dish. And the flavour is very delicate and it works very well with other flavours.
So cooked in its simplest form, still delicious, not overpowering at all.
Yes, that's right.
So our second offering here, may I?
Yes, oh, please do.
Oh, I really enjoyed it in its simple form, but now it's taken on new life.
Yeah.
With that sweet potato, especially if the sweet potato's been quite well cooked, it brings out something else in the scallop.
It does really complement the scallop. The scallop takes on the flavour.
Let's go on to the third. These scallops are putting East Sussex on the map, aren't they?
I think so, yes. It's been said that the rye-based scallop is possibly the best scallop in the world.
I'm sure it is. Tastes like it. I'm trying to be dainty here, but it's not working. Delicious. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers.
I'm just going to keep eating.
Well, it's always good to make a big decision on a full stomach, so I hope our house hunters have had a good feed too.
So we've shown Wayne and Izzy our 3 properties, but have we had success here in East Sussex? I do have my doubts, but let's go and find out. So Izzy and Wayne, have you found the last few days enlightening, I hope?
An eye-opener,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, eye-opener, probably the word that sums it up a lot. There's so much more to think about. I think we probably took for granted at the beginning where we've been previously looking.
Because we managed to show you 3 properties that were so different. I wonder, did we get close with any of our houses?
I think we did get close. There's the houses that were shown, there was elements from every house that we would take.
So in your opinion, which was the strongest house for you?
For me, there wasn't a strongest house. There was a combination, to be honest. I loved the second house. It was our style, our decor, but I'd like to have put it on the land of the first house, which was fabulous.
So it's quite interesting. I thought you might go for a second viewing on our second property.
For me, it was just the lack of space. I know that it had a large plot, but I felt the house was in the middle of the plot, and I'd preferred most of the land to be at the back of the plot to allow a bit more privacy.
And now you can look back and reflect on what we've shown you, how far your money's going to go. Do you think you've learned anything?
I assumed that the further south you move from London, that the cheaper the property would become. And it's clear that there are pockets of East Sussex that are very expensive because of their desirability, and they pay a premium price for that.
Yeah.
And I think we have to consider that more now when we're looking in certain areas.
It is a huge budget. Let's not, forget £750,000 is a lot of money, but you do want quite a lot for your money in this part of the world. Neighbouring counties might be a little bit cheaper.
I think we can probably spread out the area that we're looking in, probably spread it out a little bit more. I think we want to be patient. We want to, make sure we get the most for our money. And I think we're in a good position too, BC.
Well, listen, thank you. All the best with the move.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, I know you can't predict the future, but certainly over the last few years, you've been able to take your time searching out that perfect property. But with house prices now on the up, you can't afford to rest on your laurels. Now, I do understand what Wayne and Izzy said when they wanted the mix of the garden in the first property with the space of their second house. But for me, that's not what compromise is all about. And if they don't make a small compromise today, it might be a very expensive compromise tomorrow, unless they get their skates on. Now, I'm not sure what their next step will be, but whatever it is, we wish them all the very best. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.